Hi guys, and welcome to another day with Zamaleta. In today's video, I'm in my garage and I'm working on this 3.0 liter diesel Sprinter van. This is a 2008 Sprinter. It's got an oil cooler seal leak, but it's got so much more that's actually wrong with it. So in this video, we're going to be removing some parts, and I'm going to show you what it takes to remove them. Guys, I actually cleaned out my garage. It's no longer an office, it's now a garage, and I've organized some tools here for me. I got various stuff that I'm working on. This is kind of like my work table. Anything that I need, I will put down in this type of tray. I will carry where I need. Whatever I don't need, I will put it here, and then once I'm done, I'll put everything back. So I'm gonna just show you really quickly how I organize things. It's just pretty simple. I'm not gonna really get into it too much, but as you can see, I do got some tools that I need to use for various type of jobs. Bunch of stuff in here. And right here. And this one's empty because I pulled some tools out. Got this, that, and that. Anyways, that being said, let me show you kind of like what we're doing. So we're going to be removing this turbo and the intakes. So that is the whole job I want to get done right now in this video. So let's get to work. All right guys, let's begin. I know I already told you that I sprayed this bolt down right here on the turbo. So let's see if it actually works. Try to pull it out. First want to shield, make sure I got the right tool. Okay, so that actually came out pretty good. After spraying it down, I'm not sure if the actual spraying down worked, or this is 1400 foot-pounds of torque type of tool, which definitely helps. I think I was applying 250 pounds of torque with my Cobalt right angle, and that did not work at all. So that makes my job a little bit easier. So let's get in and remove some other stuff. So that one's done. Okay, I'm gonna need an extension on that one. When you add extensions, it kind of cuts the power down of your tool some. So that's separated. And let's keep going. It makes a huge difference if you could actually get a right angle on these tools and actually have room to work. Okay, so this piece of pipe is now separated, these flex pipes. Now I gotta get these two right here that's holding the turbo. Okay, so all the exhaust bolts have been separated as far as I could see. The only thing I gotta separate now is the actual turbo bolts. For that, we're gonna need some star shape type of tools, like a torque size. So guys, the tool we're gonna need for this is a T45, which means a Torx 45. So this pallet actually helps me to stand on something. So we're gonna get down, make sure we got a good grip, and just slowly. So that one went really well. If you don't have the proper tool, you're gonna end up stripping these, and it's gonna be a pain in the neck trying to pull these out. Well, that worked really well. Pull the rest of them out. Okay, so we're gonna put the tool away. And go ahead and get the turbo. Okay, so we have another piece that's holding down to the turbo, which is from the bottom here. There's a couple clamps here that's holding it. So technically we just remove that one, and that one. And that's going to release it. So let's get the proper size E-socket. Let's see. Okay, looks like it's gonna be like an E10. What's this? Oh, that's way too big, whatever that is. So I think my E10 is missing from here, and I know exactly what it is. It's on my other tool, which is right here. Let's see if these are easy to get with this. Sometimes, if there's not enough torque, you have to start spinning it and then put it down, and then you're going to be able to actually remove it. So for the last one, this is a little bit of an overkill, but this will have to do. So there's that. Now we're gonna move my tools out of the way and go ahead and get the turbo out. Okay, and there it goes. So let's take a closer look. This is where the turbo was attached with this bolt, this bolt. I had to remove these two and that one. I had to remove these two and some of the exhaust bolts in the back of the turbo. But I decided to just go ahead and remove the whole thing. That way it's gonna make my job a lot easier. As you can see, that came out just fine. As a matter of fact, I could have actually skipped removing this bolt, doing it this way, because there's still really no way for me to get to those, as you can see, those two. So quite impossible at that angle because it's right underneath the turbo. So let's simulate this. I just installed the turbo back just so you could see there's that bolt, that one that needs to come out. Those two, they're actually still on the turbo. And these other two, they're way in there. As you can see, that's quite impossible to get. There's no way you could be able to get them, especially they're like heat-treated bolts. So yeah, I guess I could have avoided removing that one right there. For some reason, I thought it's really important to remove it. Just when you're working behind an engine, you're really not getting this whole picture like this, and it's really easy to forget that what's important and what's not important. So what I should have done is left that bolt alone, remove those two, remove all of these, remove all of those, if it's possible. Now, in that type of situation, when you're working really close to this, and by the way, this was already ripped like that, as you could see. I actually, my trick is to stick a cardboard behind there, that way you don't actually damage anything. Possibly what happened there, well, this is already old van, and actually there were some rodents, so I believe that's what caused that situation there. But anyways, yeah, once you do you know, have everything removed, you could just go ahead and leave all of these exhaust pieces. We don't have to separate none of them. We'll just have to put another bolt in there. And I actually bought brand new bolts which are heat treated, and we're not going to be reusing that bolt that was actually quite messed up. So any bolt that's slightly messed up. We're going to use everything new, which I will show you in another video. All of the stuff that I had to get, the whole kit, all the part numbers, everything you need. Okay, so let's continue. So removing the turbo, take 2. This time I'm going to flip it around and try to get the bolts out. I got the bolts out of it, the turbo's out. That's it. We're just going to put it on the ground for now so that it doesn't fall or drop. So now I need to remove these things. So let me position the camera the proper way and we'll get to work. Alright guys, let's continue. This is as best as gonna get. I got my camera as high as possible. So we're going to have some stuff that's in the way as always. So I could already see for this intake, possibly that I could still remove it. So let's see what it's gonna take. I'm gonna see these bolts here. Okay, so that's fine. See if I could actually get this without an extension. That's quite difficult. I'm gonna have to get an extension. All right, so okay, there's that one. Okay, these particular ones I really don't want to mix, so I'm gonna have to get a tray for them. All right, some of these bolts are gonna be long, some of them are gonna be short. So this is gonna be a long one. You could kind of tell which one's gonna be long. Like that's gonna be long, that's gonna be long, possibly that's gonna be long. Some of these towards the top are gonna be short. So here's another top one. Guys, you could tell like this had a really big problem. Like look, everything's soaked with oil. All of my bolts, all of this area, everything was just, this fan just has a bunch of problems, guys. Okay, one thing's for sure, when you remove this, make sure you don't forget to put this back. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. When you're removing this, you want to make sure that if it doesn't remove, you could just have it running and then just do it. Okay, that's not gonna work. We need a little bit more torque on that one. Problem with these E-sockets, it's so easy to strip them. Yeah, this is really good. So pretty much most of these bottom ones, they're going to be long. This one does not want to come out. Okay, there he goes. All right, so let's see. Looks like this is disconnected. It's good to go. You could just simply remove one of them. Man, this was not actually even connected. I gotta show you this because looks like this van had just way too many problems. The actual runner was not even connected. Let me show you. Wow, I'm like so surprised to see like all of these different things. Like, guys, I have not disconnected this intake runner, but as you could see, this side is actually not even connected. And yeah, I was actually getting a code for one of the intake runners, and then I cleared it. It did not come back, surprisingly. Oh, and look at that. This is another thing I did not expect to see. This is actually broken. Like, look at this. And I did not even break it. You're like literally here with me. And see, that one's connected. This one's broken off. So I don't know how this could be broken like that. But one thing what I could expect is because of this motor mount right here, it must have been causing a little bit more wobbles and perhaps caused this to crack. I'm really not sure, but this is definitely cracked. Looks like we're gonna have to get one of those. It's probably not gonna be cheap. I do have one in parts from actually 2008 van that we could use, but that's what that is right there, guys. I actually tried to be careful not to break this, and what I end up doing is removing both intake sides and just pull it out together. That way I could disconnect that, you know, on the next step. But as you can see, this one's completely disconnected. If I would have pulled out right now, that would have been good. By the way, that sensor right there, that's also busted. I could see like bunch of stuff on it right there. That's also not my doing. Could be just the fact that it's old, but same thing goes with all the glow plugs. All of the glow plugs pretty much are obliterated. This is how they're supposed to, well, this one's intact, but one side's still broken, but all of the glow plugs are like this. All of these caps are missing from the glow plugs. And I did actually tell the owner before I actually disassembled that I've seen that, but some of these sensors, I mean, this is still gonna work if I plug it in, but it is busted, and who knows how long that sensor is gonna work with it being like that, because there is a good chance it might rattle apart as well. But you could see there was a lot of stuff that was just going on this side, guys. This whole engine just wet with oil. I believe on this side, it could also been the turbo resonator leaking, and it was shooting all this oil in here. I don't know, because it's just a lot to deal with. One thing's for sure, I don't see any black death, which is a good thing, because normally that would be a problem. But anyways, let's continue removing this. Okay guys, let's continue. So let's continue as I would normally do. Now that this piece is broken, it's really pointless to even undo it, but I'm gonna have to do this one. It's a longer one. Everything goes quickly whenever everything's disassembled, which is nice. believe things are loose. Let's slowly get everything out. With it being separated on this side, normally I would not pull that out like this. There's really no chance. As you can see, this is original. It was actually hard to push. You see, I done it kind of like with no effort, but I pushed it back, and now this is actually opening and closing correctly as it should. But there's actually a metal runner that you could install here to make this even better. So I'm gonna do this for this custom, but you could tell a lot of soot, and we're gonna have to clean it up. So now there's that, and this one, as you can see, this side is still connected, so we only had one working intake runner. Well, this one's working way too easy, even easier than that other one. So this was a working intake runner. That other one wasn't. It was just basically stuck, but still a bunch of carbon here everywhere. So unfortunately this mounting bracket for this one, it's just been busted, which mounts right there. I actually dropped that bolt in here. It's kind of hard to get it in that location. Really should be getting needle nose pliers for this area, but this is gonna work. I'm about to shift the camera angle for you guys. I found another issue right here. You know what this is? This is a green seal. This actually mounts on one of the turbo things, lines over here, and apparently this one's busted. This also would cause a bunch of oil like this to be spitting out right where the turbo connects to that other inlet that goes to the resonator. And we got a bunch of stuff that was dropped in here, bunch of plastic bits. Like for instance, this is the piece that I told you was removed. As you can see, this thing's completely busted. I don't even know how does this even bust like that. As you can see, it's been ducked in there, so it's been at the bottom. So I'm gonna put it back where it was, and I'm gonna take a picture of that for the customer to show them where I found that. So first of all, we're gonna begin with like a little video. As you can see, all of these plastic bits, like that, this is actually what made this attach. And I guess once one of them broke, this just all broke off in here. But this is a little bit extreme. I've never actually seen this before, but this is the first time for everything. Also, look at the carbon buildup on this. Now, unfortunately, I mean, there's really like no big fix for this. Possibly this could be scooped out. That's about it. I don't even have anything like that, you know, kind of like a little scoop to reach in there and just get that carbon out, because I will be cleaning some other stuff. And then same thing over here. It's a mess for this little miles, but then again, I'm not surprised. It is what it is. So anyways, I'll have to take some pictures. Okay guys, so next I want to go ahead and clean up a little bit around the oil cooler before I start removing the oil cooler. And we're gonna go ahead and actually remove the oil cooler. So I want to collect all of these plastic bits, basically show to my customer that this thing fell apart. I went on a few drives, and I got actually a bunch of videos with me test driving this van. And then I did some magic using the SDS, and it cleared his intake runner code because it kept coming back each time I was clearing it. So next I want to show you why we're doing this, and you will be able to kind of see what's going on back here. So I knew it's going to be spraying some of that oil here, but I really needed to get that area cleaned up, and I didn't want to get it all over the place. So this kind of contained it pretty good. Now I could actually move on and proceed with the removal of this oil cooler. Really easy to remove. Installing it, you just have to torque it properly. So after you replace the seals, of course. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and actually remove this oil cooler, and we're gonna inspect what it looks like. Usually the metal part that doesn't fail, it's the seals that fail. If it's the orange seals, they fail. If it's the purple ones, that should be the fix. So most likely this is orange. Now we want to make sure that's a good fit. So I'm gonna have to do an extension. Probably not gonna be enough, but we'll try it. That's enough. Okay, that's pretty much out. Hit pause on the video, please. All right, guys, I haven't seen the color of the seals yet because I want to make sure that I don't lose none of these bolts. Oh no! It is these purple ones, and they failed. Oh my gosh. And I knew there's a possibility of these purple seals failing. This is why on the 2010 that I fixed, which I now own, I actually put a bead of RTV lubricant around it, because here's what I discovered. When you install these purple seals, it does not create a really good seal. Like they're springy. And I know, like, once you tighten things up, it might work, but gosh, this is kind of crazy. I did not expect this to happen. But the bead of RTV is what I'm talking about. Of course, I use the high heat stuff. You go all the way around. You sort of form like an 8. Just a very thin, neat little bead. just you know, for extra measure, I guess. And you could even go a step further and just go ahead and form a bead all the way around. But you see, one of them has water and one of them has oil. And actually, it's very difficult right now to tell which one is which. Oh no, I also see plastic bits in here. Oh no, what the heck? This oil cooler has plastic bits on the inside here. And I could see it's got some metal bits on this one. There's also a good chance that this oil cooler has failed and it's all broken inside. Normally this is not something that we're replacing. We're just replacing the actual seals on this one. But man, I must take a picture of this. And it's kind of hard to see. You got to be real observant with this stuff, guys. If you're not, then you're just going to run into the same kind of problems before. So anyways, guys, when I was saying plastic bits, look at that inside right there. Can you see that? And when I say metal bits, you could kind of see over here, kind of like some metal right there. It's inconsistencies right there in the middle. It should all be kind of like squarish form. So I could see there's some broken bits on that side and some dislodged bits there. This is kind of weird. I've never actually observed that before. So I don't know what that plastic stuff is. This could have been not a clean installation. So this side looks okay. That other side is not. I know one thing, I would not risk installing this one again, because obviously it has failed before the 350,000 mark, and then they installed the purple ones and they failed again. And as you could see, it created a major problem. Now, one possible thing what happened is when somebody actually was installing this, it was not a clean install. You know, they got debris in there somehow, you know, or some way. And one of the ways that could happen is if you leave these holes open, let me show you, let me put this out of the way. If you leave these exposed when you're working on this type of stuff, it will cause debris to go in there. You could drop stuff in, but I don't know where the plastic actually came from, which is kind of crazy. So the right side of the engine, that's actually where the radiator fluid is. But with that one, it's hard to tell because the fluids kind of started to mix. You could kind of see they're still slightly separated here, but this is just because this one is the oily side and you could see it's just more oil here. But you could clearly see oil has made it to the other side as well. And there's really no way around that once they start leaking. There is some separation here where the seals run, and I'm thinking that to prevent the oil and radiator fluid mixing, it will be kind of an overkill, but with this job you would need to is actually just go ahead and actually run a bead through there and all the way around these areas, and possibly all the way around there, and then just go ahead and seal it. It's going to be a pain in the neck to try to remove it next time, but the whole idea of doing it is to prevent you from having to do this again, and for the vehicle to actually last a lot longer. So what I need to do right now is go ahead and put some, you know, I'm going to wipe this down with with a napkin, and then I'm going to put some duct tape on this type of stuff to prevent junk from falling in. As you can see, when I removed this, I stuck this napkin in there to prevent stuff from falling in, and this was a recent disconnection, so I gotta put something in there as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Guys, anytime you're working, you don't want to drop a tool or nut or bolt into these holes. I've never have, and that's because I followed these type of procedures that were mentioned before in some videos that I watched, and also this is common sense. You're supposed to cover every single hole up. Now, you could put duct tape like I did, or you could put like regular tape, or you could put like you know, like napkins like this and or shop towels inside of each hole. This is just a little bit faster. So what I end up doing is I cleaned up all the grimy areas and then I basically stuck this in here. Now I think paper towels is really the safest method. Let's say one falls in, it will easily burn away and becomes ash, and maybe mixed with oil. Next oil change, it's out. It's really not going to damage anything. Now if you're going to stick a shop towel in there and it falls in, let's say there's such a chance, well, it's still going to burn away, but probably create a little bit more of a hassle for you. Definitely don't try to stick anything plastic in there, because if it falls in, good luck trying to get it out, because you will not be able to get it out. And this is why it possibly ended up in oil, possibly ended up in this oil cooler here. Now, obviously cover up all your holes. Even though this is exhaust, you know, most likely it's going to go away, but still important that you do that, because there's a turbo back here. If some of this crap gets inside of the turbo, well, your turbo's toast, and that's gonna be $2,000 or more. And to replace it, if you have to run into this huge issue, then, you know, good luck. In this type of job, obviously it's a good thing that I got the engine out, because this has lots of issues, and I'll be able to take care of them a lot easier with things being out like they are. But anyways, guys, things are out. Look for a next video, and I will update you with everything else that's going on. I want to also show you some parts that I ordered for this job to get done. I do think that you want to make sure you get the stuff, you know, everything you need, and sometimes you get stuff that you don't need, but it's better to have it than not. You could always return the parts that you end up not using. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.